What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Canadian Football Fantasy Fix for Week 12 of the 2021 CFL season. I'm Ryan Coop here with your first depth chart update video of the week, touching on the depth charts for Montreal and Toronto for their Friday night matchup. I was originally going to do a single depth chart update for all 4 games this week. We've got the game tonight and then 3 games on Saturday, but the depth charts for Saturday's games won't come out until late Friday morning, early Friday afternoon. I've got a pretty busy day ahead of me, so I'm not entirely, I can't guarantee I will get a video for those ones out by the time kickoff starts on Friday night. So I will go through the depth charts for tonight's game for Montreal and Toronto here, and then probably around the evening, late afternoon is when I will try to get a video going through the depth charts for tomorrow's game. But if you want to see them all and see the fantasy notables before the game tonight starts, follow me on Twitter at CooperTrooper42. I'll make sure to tweet them out there so you have access to all of them to make all the decisions when it comes to setting your fantasy lineup for week number 12. Let's dive into the depth charts for Montreal and Toronto, a great East Division matchup. And starting off with Montreal here, it will be Matt Shiltz getting the start for the second straight game at quarterback. Vernon Adams Jr. is still out due to injury, and newly added quarterback Trevor Harris is not quite ready yet to join them on the active roster. So Shiltz gets another start. He had a great game, led all quarterbacks in fantasy points last week. We'll see if he can do it again in a second straight start. At running back, the Alouettes will have William Stanback back in the lineup, presumably. He did miss the last game due to injury, the last 2 games he missed. The one before that was injury. Last time was a last-minute scratch due to food poisoning, so it seems like everything's better on that front, and Stanback will be back in the lineup as the starting running back for Montreal. And Cameron Artis-Payne will be off the active roster this week. He's been dealing with, I believe, illness all week this week. I don't think it was an injury necessarily, but he is not in the lineup. So Stanback will be handling pretty much all of the running back duties. Jeshurun Antwi is the backup, as he has been a lot this year. May get a touch or 2, but Stanback should be carrying the load. At receiver, the Alouettes will be without BJ Cunningham for a while, as he has been placed on the 6-game injured list. Reggie White Jr. will be taking his spot and making his first start of the year at slot back. The way they're lining up at receiver is Eugene Lewis, Jake Weineke, Quan Bray, Keon Julian Grant, and Reggie White Jr. So all the normal starters plus the new guy getting a start in place of the injured BJ Cunningham. The kick return spot continues to rotate for Montreal. This week it will be Dante Absher getting back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch for a few weeks. Will be handling all the kick return duties, it seems, and will be a backup receiver to Quan Bray. I don't know how much he'll actually get into the offensive side of things. Montreal isn't one of those teams like Calgary that throws to 9 different receivers in a game. It seems to be pretty heavily skewed to their couple of starters. But if he does pick up a couple catches and handles return duties, he could hit you full value at a $2,500 value play. I wouldn't bank too much on it though, personally. I like I said, I don't know how involved he'll get in the offense as a backup. Defensive side of the ball, nothing too notable stands out to me, and most of the starters in place yet again for the Montreal Alouettes. Looking at the Toronto side of this matchup, McLeod Bethel-Thompson starts at quarterback once again, as he should. That should be no surprise, as he's been playing pretty well as of late. Antonio Pipkin listed as the backup. Nick Arbuckle listed as the 3rd string. So I'm wondering if Arbuckle's, he missed a couple games due to injury. I'm wondering if maybe he's not quite ready to go. They have Pipkin in as the backup and likely to, handle short yardage work. At running back, John White is back on the active roster, but interestingly enough, DJ Foster is still listed as the starting running back, whereas earlier this year it was White as the starter, Foster as the backup. White's been out the past couple of games, and Foster got to come in and handle the starting role, and he gets to keep it now, which makes him a great fantasy play, I think. Yes, John White will likely take some of the reps at running back, which is to be expected, but $5,116. DJ Foster puts up solid performances even when he is a backup. And if he is the starting running back now, I do like that fantasy option for this week. At receiver, Eric Rogers is still out on the 6-game injured list, so the Argos will go with the same as a receiving core they went with last week, or last game, sorry. Devaris Daniels, Damian Jean-Pierre, Ricky Collins Jr., Chandler Worthy, and Curley Gittins Jr. As I mentioned on the wide receiver preview that I put out yesterday, I think there's some great options here from the Argos at receiver. I would assume Chandler Worthy will be handling return duties again. The Argos don't list that on their depth chart, unfortunately, but he has been handling the bulk of those in the past number of weeks, and I think he's been doing a pretty decent job of it, as well as getting in at receivers. So I like Chandler Worthy, and I do also like cheaper plays in Gittins Jr. and Jean-Pierre as well this week. Defensive side of the ball, they get a big boost back with the return of Enoch Muamba at middle linebacker, which should help their defense quite a bit there. You know, they had a couple games where they had a couple lapses in the secondary. Hamilton put up their best passing game of the year against Montreal. I think having Enoch Muamba back in the middle of the lineup there should be some help there. They will be without defensive back Jamal Peters, and Jalen Collins will be coming into the lineup to take his place at the cornerback position there. I believe those are the most notable changes on the defensive side of the ball. We've talked about the offense already. I believe that covers it for the Argos depth chart. And we've gone through Montreal as well. So that game takes place Friday night between Toronto and Montreal. Kickoff time, let's see, is 6:30 p.m. Central Time, so adjust time zones, however. So make sure you get your lineup set before then. Stay tuned on Twitter for my depth chart updates there at CooperTrooper42. And also stay tuned, I'll have a video version of that for the 3 games on Saturday out later today as well. Do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you liked, what you didn't. If you have any fantasy questions, put them in the comments section or tweet them at me at CooperTrooper42, as I mentioned. The link that's in the description. And if you want to play CFL Fantasy alongside myself and other viewers, check the link in the description. There is a link to the Canadian Football Fantasy Fix group over on the official CFL Fantasy site. As always, thanks for watching. Good luck for week number 12. Hope you crush it. Hope we see you at the top of the leaderboard. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.